Hi, I'm David Hawks with Agile Velocity, and today I'd like to talk to you about Agile planning and how that compares to traditional planning. So when we do a traditional project, or what I would typically do pre-Agile, is I would have my starting point, and then I would need to create a plan to hit some target out in the future. Now the way that I would do that is that I would go and get estimates from all of what I used to call resources. I now call people, but I would go get estimates from everybody, and then what I would do is start to build out the plan. Now, the plan would look something like this, where I'd say, all right, I need 2.2 days of one person's time, followed by 3.8 days of somebody else's time. Meanwhile, one of my other resources would be working on this for a week. And, it was kind of fun solving this puzzle of figuring out how do I load balance everybody, what's the critical path, how do I get all this stuff done, how am I going to get everything done by the date. Now I'd get to the end and I'd have like this eureka moment where I had solved the puzzle. I had figured out how we could get all of this stuff done, and I'd show it to senior leadership, and they'd be like, wow, you guys really know what you're doing over there. You know what everybody's going to be doing every single day for the next 6 months. Because look at the plan. The plan shows what everybody should be working on for every day mapped out for the next 6 months. Now, let me ask you this. At the beginning of when we created the plan, at the beginning of this project, is this our smartest point in this project? No. This is actually our dumbest point. But we tend to make the hardest decisions and lock them in. In these plans, what I now call these plans, I call these plans mythical certainty. Because think about it, the level of precision of this plan, I missed an I there, the level of precision of this plan doesn't match the level of accuracy of our understanding of the requirements at the beginning, right now. So we have these very precise plans with very imprecise understanding of the requirements, which leads to this illusion of certainty. Now the plan makes everybody feel good, because once we have a plan, everybody's like, oh good, we've got this plan, we've got it all figured out. But the reality is the plan is not perfect because the requirements are not perfect. So what do we do? What do we do in Agile? You could do what I call hippie Agile. Hippie Agile is where you got your developers, they come to their senior leadership and they say, hey man, we're Agile. Like, you'll get it when you get it, man. And I know a lot of developers that try to pull that off, but that just doesn't work for businesses. We can't just be like, we have no idea. We do actually have an idea. We can forecast, and actually in Agile we plan and forecast a lot. We just are responsive to change. So what we want to do in Agile is, we're at our dumbest point. We acknowledge we're at our dumbest point. Based on the information we have, we know we need to set out in the direction of the red target, but we're going to apply empirical process control. And along the way, we're going to constantly inspect and adapt based on the new information that we get. And when we get a couple weeks in, we're going to decide if we should keep heading in the direction of the red target, or based on what we have learned and what new requirements have potentially come up, or new things that we need to do, we could decide to adapt our plan. And almost always something will come up that we want to adapt to. And then we'll be heading off in a different direction. And then we'll apply a time box, and usually in Scrum that's 2 weeks, and we'll come back and we'll say, okay, based on that, do we want to keep going in that direction, or do we make another correction? And we continue to make these little inspection and adapt cycles continually along the path. Now, is our goal, do you think, to get back to the red target? Is that our purpose, is to actually hit the red target? It actually isn't. Our goal is not to hit the red target, because the red target was defined when? The red target was defined when we are at our dumbest point, right? So we're not trying to hit this red target out here. What we're trying to do is find the way that we can deliver the most value. And the red target does not guarantee that we'll deliver the most value. So what's going to happen is we're going to continue to adapt until typically our time box is used up, whatever our release schedule was set for, and we're then going to find this new target, which is the target that allowed us to maximize the most value possible over this period of time. So the fallacy in the red scenario is that our goal, that we know everything up front and we just need to manage to the plan and manage to the red line to get to delivering the value that we set out to do. But the reality is we have imperfect information, so our goal is actually to accelerate learning throughout the cycle and get smarter about the problem and get smarter about our potential solutions so that we can try and deliver as much value as possible over this period of time to get to and find this new target that's somewhere around the red target, but it's not exactly where the red target is. And that's what we're trying to do from an agile planning perspective. So it's a change of mindset, not just a way of managing a project. Again, my name is David Hawks with Agile Velocity.